Hello, gentle people. Welcome back to another episode of the It's Not Always Dark podcast.
Where it is, in fact, not always dark.
I'm Kieran.
And I'm Erin.
And live from New York,
it's Saturday night! I'm playing the trumpet, but you can't see.
That's right. This week on the podcast, we're bringing the great American sketch comedy tradition to your pretty little ear holes. Ooh, aren't they so pretty?
We are going to be talking about yet another of our shared loves.
Who, us? Like this? Enchanté.
That is right. We are going to be talking about Saturday Night Live, SNL.
For those of you who don't know, it's a sketch comedy show in America on Saturday nights live.
Work. It's known globally for being the launchpad for countless successful comedians.
And also iconic pop culture moments with our long-standing tradition of a guest host and a musical guest.
SNL is a staple of American comedy, so sit back and let us take you on a journey to Chuckletown.
Hardy har har. Coming to
So
Truckers
dumb.
Season 21. So, we should probably break down just a little bit more what SNL really is. Saturday Night Live is like a long-standing American television tradition at this stage.
Yeah, it's a fair amount longer than our lifetime. They're currently on season 46, if that says anything.
46 seasons.
Premiered in October 1975. The show was created and is still sort of, I guess, produced, watched over, cradled by Lorne Michaels.
Lorne. Yeah, Lorne Michaels.
Just Lorne.
Yeah,
we're on a first name basis.
Yeah, he's... you know me and Lorne.
We go way back.
We go back. Oh, Lorne Michaels, yeah, creative executive producer. He's been there for years upon years, and he will be there until his last days. I'm very certain on that.
He left for a while, and the show like bombed while he was away, and then he came back on. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's not looking that hopeful for the future.
But this was
We got some inside tea.
What we were saying before this though was that like we're very aware of like probably like from the noughties onwards is sort of the casts of SNL that we grew up with and are aware of, and obviously there's people that were on before. Like I'm pretty sure Robert Downey Jr. was like an OG.
Robert
not
Downey
OG,
Jr. was
but
on
like
SNL.
back in the day.
There was a lot of people that used to be on SNL.
Like Adam Sandler,
Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell.
There's tons of successful comedians that they really got their launch pad into films and the film industry and
Eddie
comedies
Murphy as well,
yeah, Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock. Like there's so many people that come to mind because the list is that long if you're to really go back.
Yeah.
But as we discuss, the people that we're most familiar with are the people from the noughties onwards.
Yeah.
Who, in my opinion, not trying to be biased, but I do think they are the funnier bunch because there's
the
more
jokes
that goes
that we
into it. Because as much as I feel bad trying to use him as an example, but I do think he's an okay guy, so I think it's okay. Jimmy Fallon, to me, is an example of someone who is on SNL, but is not necessarily made for SNL. I think he's a funny enough guy, but for me, I just don't see him having the same range that the current cast do. Like, I don't think the standards of today would keep everyone that was in the cast previously still on the show.
I think
they're being, held to that standard.
There's obviously some cast members that have been in it for years and years and years and that were originally writers or
of course,
whatever.
Yeah.
And then some of the actual writers of SNL go on to have their own comedy careers and stuff. Like
most people
Senior
at this stage
John
that are
Mulaney,
on, most people that are on the cast currently or make regular appearances have been writers on SNL
or some form of
like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
If you've got to really touch down quite a lot behind the scenes, and the audition process sounds awful.
Well, yeah, I think you basically have to perform in front of these people, including Lorne Michaels.
Yeah.
and they won't laugh. Like, they're not meant to laugh.
They will not laugh.
They're meant to give you the experience of someone not laughing at your jokes, and you just have to go on with the show. That's
and if you're funny enough,
my worst nightmare. That is my worst nightmare. I mean, not that I would be doing stand-up, but...
That would be awful especially in stand-up. You rely on the audience to, like, continue the set, and you build off of the energy. So if you have no energy to go off of, I couldn't even imagine how intense that must feel.
But that makes me think about
it like it is.
how it's been going, like, the last year, because obviously they wouldn't have been allowed an audience in, because they always have a live audience when they record it. So, like, how must it feel when... Because they even have an audience in for the dress, and that's how they make cuts. Like,
yeah, that's how they know what's going to make the main show. I think that they're kind of fortunate in the sense that the way Saturday Night Live is filmed does require quite a bit of crew. So even if they don't have an audience, I think they probably still have people that were able to laugh at the jokes and everything whilst it was being recorded. So you're not technically supposed to interact as like a camera participant, but we've seen we're making exceptions now because of COVID. We don't have an audience. You're the camera people. Maybe you should laugh for us.
Yeah. It's very much we watched the James Franco documentary that he did about it when he was hosting. Or not, it wasn't him that was hosting in the documentary, but he's definitely hosted at some point.
No, yeah, he's hosted before.
And it was very interesting. I mean, if you've listened to this podcast, you probably know we love a bit of behind the scenes here.
Yeah, we do.
So it very much played into my interests, because it was sort of taking them through a week at SNL where they were basically pitching on the Tuesday or the Monday, and then like the overnight writing and getting the scripts to people, and then getting the sets produced and the scenes produced and the music produced and so much.
Yeah, with the amount of stuff that they do in a week, it makes sense why. I mean, so a huge cast member for me that was so funny and continues to do really funny stuff is Leslie Jones.
Yes.
However, she left the cast in like 2019, and when she was asked if she missed it, she was like, not really. She missed, like, she loved the people, obviously.
Yeah.
But they work sometimes like 100 hours.
Yeah, it's like athletes.
To make the performance.
It's like comedic athletes of what is expected of these people.
Because you're in multiple skits a night. Some of them you're the star of the skit. Others you are just like a participant.
And you get one shot.
I couldn't imagine. And also, you're working with new people quite often, because with the guest hosts that come on, and if you don't know them, obviously it's going to feel quite intense to start with.
I think it depends on the guest host as well, because
very true.
I think if you get a guest host that's super up for it and is willing to look like a fool and be a comedian.
Act the fool, girl. Act the fool.
But like, I can imagine if you end up, because it's going to happen, there'll be people that go on it that maybe take themselves a bit too seriously.
Yeah.
And then trying to make comedy with someone like that is probably pretty tricky.
Probably.
But
no one comes to mind immediately, so I think that maybe the selection process of who gets to host is probably a little more narrowed down to people that have at least had some dealing with comedy in their life before. Because, I mean, I know that the two of us would say that, like Ariana Grande, for example, when she did like a double billing as the guest host and the musical guest, I was a little bit like, well, the only thing you've really done beside Broadway is a bit of comedy on Nickelodeon. So this is going to be an interesting one to see if you can rise to the occasion. But she did.
Her episode, I think, was really iconic. Like, I'm pretty sure most people, even if you don't know SNL, you'll probably know the skit that I mean, where it's like Spotify and all the music streaming goes down and she does all the musical impressions.
Yeah.
Like, that has like upwards of like, I think like it's like near like 30 million views or something like that. Like, that's bonkers.
SNL, we've spoke about this before, that SNL to us is something that we became aware of through clips mostly.
On YouTube.
I don't know if I've ever sat down and fully watched an episode of SNL from start to finish.
I've never seen an episode.
It doesn't really air over here. Yeah, but because of the way that they managed to market their own skits into being short videos that you can just watch as a standalone video.
Yeah, it's suited to YouTube.
Like
very
that
well.
video, the Ariana Grande one, like, yeah, 30 million views.
Wild.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad for a little 3-minute video. And they do that with multiple videos in a week. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, they basically just cut up the show. Like, it airs on the Saturday and they basically just cut it up. Because I know, like, this week
Very
I was
smart.
watching... Because Maya Rudolph, who was a cast member, came back and hosted last
I love
week.
Maya.
And I've been binging Maya. Like, she did... this week, there was a skit that she did... And it was Beyonce doing Hot Ones, the chicken wings.
Hot wings.
Yeah, the Hot Wings show. And it was so funny. And I was like, oh, Maya. Like, I mean, again, if you listen to the Good Place episode, you know that we have a deep-rooted love for Maya.
Have such love for Maya Rudolph.
And, but yeah, that's basically like, so we just see the cut-up episodes because they release like the monologue and then the best bits, I guess. Do you remember what was the first SNL clip you ever saw, or one of the first, if you don't know specifically?
I don't know if I could ever say the very first clip, but early clips I remember seeing, I want to say it was one... I think it might have been the Baby Hands one with Kristen Wiig, where she's
that's
part
iconic.
of like she's part of like a singing quartet of sisters, and she plays the weird sort of freakish looking one who has like baby hands for her hand.
Yeah.
Those little hands that you'd see on like a baby doll, but like tucked into the sleeves, and then the sleeve has been like fastened around the hand.
So dumb.
They look like little chicken wing, like a little chicken breast.
Yeah, we I like Kristen Wiig, another person that went on to do film and stuff after SNL. Very funny lady.
I love Kristen Wiig. She's another one of those. I could spend the entire
women of
episode talking
SNL.
about how much. Yeah, the women of SNL really have made a huge impact on me as a person.
Yeah.
I think they're the funny people of my life. But that's not what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, no, I think the first skit that I ever saw, me being a Swiftie from day one, was
T-Swizzle.
T-Swizzle. So when there's a guest, they will basically host a monologue that opens the show.
Yeah, you open the show.
And it was Taylor Swift's monologue song. And this was like way back in the day, and she'd just been dumped by Joe Jonas and was dating Taylor Lautner.
Yes.
And it is the most shady, like, she's calling that boy out, like, so funny,
Live
because I
on
think they're friends
television.
now and stuff, but like, live
yeah.
on Saturday night from New York, calling out Joe Jonas on national television. Hysterical. And then she like kisses and waits, because there's like rumors that she's dating Taylor Lautner at the time, right? And she like kisses and like blows a kiss and waves at the camera and goes, "Hi Taylor." Iconic. Iconic.
But I feel like you never. I was gonna say you'd never forget your first clip, but I
you
don't
did.
remember my first.
You're a
clip.
liar.
I did. I'm caught here. I'm caught lying. No, I was gonna say that you never really forget the moments on SNL though.
Yeah.
Like if there's a moment that resonates heavily with you, I feel like you are either quoting that till the day you die, or someone will say it and you will suddenly just go, another person knows this.
Yeah.
That's how I respond. Like, I didn't expect that I'd ever really meet a lot of people that had seen SNL. I think that it's fair enough. It's not something we have access to over here in the UK that easily.
We're not out here in
It's the only way
Edinburgh
you'd see it.
having watch parties. Yeah.
Sadly, not yet.
Yet. Yeah.
Maybe with time. But I feel like we need to give just a little bit more depth into some of the iconic cast members that have made their way through the SNL like stomping grounds, if you will.
Yeah, we've mentioned we love the women of SNL. We adore them.
The women of SNL.
And we were saying before that this current cast, or like the cast of the last couple of years, really has put women in an empowering place. Showing the versatility, the strength, the femininity. Iconic.
Very iconic.
I feel like we can't not talk about Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, to me, is the biggest breakout star from SNL, honestly, since Kristen Wiig. I think Kristen Wiig,
Yeah.
she was the main comedy gal on SNL for a long time.
Yeah.
And then when she left, it was a little bit of a... I feel like it took them just... Yeah, there was a transition period where they were trying to figure out who to bet more of their cards on. And I think ultimately it came down to Kate being given a lot more because she really showed herself to be one of the funniest people
versatile
ever.
Actresses. She's, I think, because she's up for doing anything.
Yeah, she's down.
And like she just, what makes her so funny is that she plays the fool. Like she is more than happy to be
acts the fool.
Yeah.
She is so committed to it.
Like,
I think it's
she plays
why
old men
she's been able...
and children and like serious Christian women and drunk Halloween sluts and like
no role is too little for Kate McKinnon to make an entire moment about. Even when Kate McKinnon is not playing the main part in a scene, she will be the scene stealer.
A masterclass in background acting.
She is the exact, like that whole there's no small roles, only small actors. Kate McKinnon has never been a small actor in her life.
Being a petite woman.
She stands at a whole 5'1", I'm sure. But she has never been the petite one in an acting sense. I just think she is kind of as perfect as they come.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about a show without her on it.
I love her in that film, The Spy Who Dumped. No.
Oh, yeah, the one with Mila Kunis.
The one with Mila,
yes.
I love Mila Kunis. But her and Mila Kunis in a spy film. It was just everything I needed.
It was a very good film for me. I think it... I mean,
like, it's not winning awards, but it's...
No, but I think when you go into some of these comedy films, I think if you can get a good few laughs out of it, that's a good film.
So we're talking about Kate McKinnon. I think we need to talk about the power trio.
Yeah, let's talk about the power trio. So the power trio consists, the Holy Trinity, if you will.
Yeah.
Cecily Strong, Kate McKinnon, and Aidy Bryant. They all came together onto the show at the same time, and they have been on for 9 seasons as of this current season of the show. I could not think of a trio that I would want to replace them ever. I just love them.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. Aidy, I think Aidy's like got her own show. Like Cecily holds down a lot of the musical numbers that happened.
I think Cecily just is like, she's just one of the best to me.
She's just so, I mean, like beautiful and can play the beautiful woman, but also like finding the funniness within that. Like it's, I think she often, from the ones that I've watched, is playing a role where she like could be very sort of poised, and she does have that poise, but uses that to create comedy, and that's what's so brilliant about it.
An amazing example of that is that she hosted like one of the like House of Representative like dinners. Like I think Barack Obama was there as well, I think, but I think this was maybe just after he'd been inaugurated. Either way, she was hosting like one of the presidential dinners, like a big thing, and she proceeded to rip into a room of Republicans for like a foot. Like it wasn't just Republicans she went after, but of course, easy jokes are easy jokes, and she's gonna make them. She was so intelligent, so funny. She made the entire room like a little uncomfortable in the sense that she was just calling it as it was. And how do you deflect that? You can't. You just have to smile and laugh because you're on camera. Yeah. And she knew that.
Iconic.
Love her. Aidy, again, another one of these hysterical women on the show.
It's so silly. Like
I think that's the thing that all 3 of these girls have in common.
Yeah.
And honestly, the whole cast, now that I really say it, the fact that they're all able to go with the joke and to build upon it and to give your yes ands, you know, they're really building upon what the foundations of their joke are into something bigger. And they do that with sometimes the funny thing that they're doing in the show is like their body behavior. Other times it's just the lines themselves are so funny. But I think that the facial expressions are really where like some of the best work comes out for me.
I think a lot, like a funny script's a funny script, but like, you need to have the right people to carry it out and to be able to do it live every week, to learn a new script every week. We have people like Keenan Thompson, who I think is the longest running SNL member of all time.
18 seasons.
18 seasons the man has been killing it.
If he left Keenan and Kel and came straight to SNL and made it his bitch. There's even, I'm sure that's a joke in a skit that I saw recently as well, where someone said something like, someone said something along the lines of, oh yeah, like I'll let you hang out here. And then Keenan breaks character and is like, this is my set. I'm letting you hang out here. Just completely dominating the situation, and rightfully so. No one, like, he's 2 seasons off of 20 seasons. That's 2 decades on the show.
I would, like, him and the Holy Trinity is like people that I would like to have lunch with and just ask questions.
I would go to lunch with any of the cast.
Yeah, to be fair.
Any of them. Even the newbies that I barely know much about. I'd still love to know
still
what's going on.
I mean, yeah. And going on from that, we also have someone that I feel like I need to talk about because it's known here.
We're here for you, babe. What's up?
I love Bill Hader so much.
Oh my god, Bill Hader.
I love it.
Bill Hader's one of those guys that I can't explain it. I just think that that's a husband. Like, that's husband material. You know?
Yeah, and you know,
he just makes up all of the perfect parts of being a funny guy.
Yeah. Being
friendly, which, you know, everyone loves a bit of friendliness.
We love a friendly guy.
No, but like his friendliness, it never comes across as insincere. Yeah. I think I've watched him be interviewed several times and he just seems like such a pleasure to be around.
Like him, I watch interviews of him like talking about anxiety and stuff, and I'm like, just when I think I couldn't be any more attracted to you, you just...
You've got mental health problems.
We match! Snap!
We're a set.
But also just like has some of like most iconic SNL characters as well, like Stefan.
Mm-hmm. A little attacked on from Stefan's. Stefan is an overly flamboyant gay male character that Bill Hader plays to perfection, and it's why you can't. Bill Hader is not a gay man. However, he plays a better gay man than many gay men ever will.
Yeah, I think it was just, and then it was John Mulaney that was writing for that Stefan character.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so, but basically what he would do was so they read off cue cards, like handwritten cue cards, and John Mulaney would have them change lines.
Last
so
second.
That when Bill was like reading them on live television, he was reading them for the first time, and I think that's like, there's all these compilations. Yeah, there's all these compilations of him breaking character as Stefan, because... And then there's also Steph Myers next to him trying to like keep a straight face. Like, I could not
another hugely iconic cast member. I mean, they're called. Do you know they're called players? They're referred to as players, not cast members.
It's like players. If you were doing like I suppose it's like if you were an improv group, you'd be called a player.
Yeah. I didn't know this.
But it goes back. It's theatre tradition to be called a player.
It's the theatre, darling. It's just the theatre.
Little things we say in the theatre.
No, but for Seth Meyers is so fucking funny, and so he does his own late night show as well now.
Yeah.
I think that he would be better than Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show, but that's just me. I would love to see it because Seth Meyers recently, it's not that recent, he went day drinking with Rihanna, and that's iconic. It's so hysterical that he is plastered. Like, he is taken. Well, this is the thing is, you need to watch it. Basically, they start playing games and stuff, and he keeps losing at games, so he keeps having to take shots and stuff. They're like just throwing back drinks.
We've all been that person.
He's making puns about Rihanna's like song titles and career. He gets a makeover from her.
Love that.
He dances to work. Like, you need to sit down and watch it. If
That's
anyone's
what's
not
happening
seen it,
after
I
this,
would
yeah.
recommend it because Rihanna as well. I think Rihanna's hysterical. She has a really understated side of comedy where
Yeah.
she just states it as it is, and because she is the one that's so calm and poised,
Yeah.
the slightest giggle from her makes me smile like a fucking Cheshire cat.
She's so...
I'm like, I don't see you like giggle often, girl.
I mean, she's just, especially like of our gen, she's very just a household staple. Like, where
Of
would we
course,
be
of
without
course.
Rihanna?
Where would we be with Rihanna? I want that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, so like a final cast member that I just want to name drop in here because it's not in my favorite moments, but
Okay.
it's one of my favorite people, is also Andy Samberg and The Lonely Island.
Oh, love Andy Samberg. I only started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I knew he was on it. Mm. And I have no regrets.
I love Brooklyn
He-
Nine-Nine.
Where did he, like, he has some nerve. I think he didn't need to glow up completely.
The absolute audacity. I'm currently watching season
called for
7.
him. I think I need to watch 6 and 7, which is
Oh.
really exciting for me because, well, I watched 1 through 5 all at once.
Yeah.
So that I really caught up and I was waiting for the next season and it took so long that other stuff came out.
Yeah.
But 2 seasons.
It's I mean, what a man. But him and like The Lonely Island, so like I've probably spoken about it on podcast before, but I did my dissertation on comedy music. So
Yes.
like I've done my Lonely Island. Like I used The Lonely Island were a featured artist throughout the dissertation. Like me typing into my academic paper jizz in my pants completely seriously. You know, it's and then also I think that was like one of they sort of introduced having these music video type things be part of SNL, like having
Yeah, they were the main people that pushed that, especially because like you had like I'm on a Boat, that was quite a popular
Yeah.
one.
the Justin Timberlake one,
Yes,
Dick in a Box.
I know it's it's technically not Lonely Island, I don't think, but
No, but-
what you say that skit where it's just
Yes.
slow motion gunshots to oh what you say, really capturing the way that we would use that back in the day.
And then that becoming the sort of first viral clips. Not the first, but like some of the first viral clips.
Some of the first.
I think really like paved the way because so much of like what I think of SNL now, which you'll see from my favorite clips, is the music videos and the musical comedy of it. And
Yeah.
I think that was just a fun starting point to it all.
Well, hit us off with a little starting point. What's one of your favorite skits? We're doing 3 each today because we really could go on for hours upon hours talking about different skits that we've just witnessed over the years. But to condense it, we've chose 3 of the ones that we think fit our comedy preferences the most.
So my first selection for you, the public, to go and
the
watch.
public?
Yeah, the public.
Oh, we're going public?
Yeah, we're international, baby.
But
Is Do It in My Twin Bed, which is
classic.
oh, it's just so because it's a situation.
Break it down for us. Go
So-
through the story of Do It in My Twin Bed.
It is a music video sketch with the Holy Trinity plus more.
Plus the other females of the time that
Yeah.
aren't on the show anymore, but were. at
And
the
it's a
point.
very Pussycat Dolls style video.
We're
It's-
giving girl band.
We must be approaching December. It must have been around then when it aired.
Yeah, it was Christmassy.
Because the story of the video is that these ladies are going home to their respective family homes for Christmas with their husbands and partners. And the whole thing about when you go back to your family home, like you have a single bed or a twin bed as the Americans call it.
Yeah.
Hence, let's do it in my twin bed. And it's just about all the dumb stuff that is so not sexy.
All the stuff that isn't sexy in the slightest about being in a childhood home and looking at someone's childhood room whilst you're still trying to get, to quote Kate, a little nasty.
Like Jimmy Fallon's in it and he raps, which is deeply uncomfortable, but also adds to it. Like they have pictures of them as kids, zooming in and out of it.
They do like a flashback moment where they're like, let's bring it back now, y'all. And they edit the girls in their current attire of being like a sexy girl band member with like a really
goofy
looking childhood photo of them in like school or something.
So funny. I recommend you just watch it because it's
a lot of these things
3 minutes of your time.
Funnier. Yeah, they're funnier if you give them just a slight watch.
But I would, just go watch it. What's your first recommendation, Kieran?
Oh, I was just going to say, for Do It in My Twin Bed, that was also something that won them an Emmy. So, you know.
Them an Emmy. Wow.
Them an Emmy. Them an Emmy. One of my favourite skits, I'm going to go with ADB. So, ADB is a skit where after taking inspiration from the lyrics of Cardi B, Aidy Bryant feels empowered to behave the same way as Cardi B would. She starts cussing out fellow cast members behind the scenes. Chadwick Boseman appears, rest in power. What an incredible man. Mm-hmm. She basically has decided that because of Cardi B, she wants to start taking power of what she says to people more. Mm-hmm. And I need to quote the line, "Just remember that I'm a boss and you a worker, you goofy bitch." So unexpected from a very sweet Aidy Bryant.
Aidy is like known for being the sort of, she's the very traditionally funny girl. And that she's very sweet and definitely like enjoyed horses when she was young.
That does not sound inaccurate at all.
Like I remember watching her do, I think it was maybe stand up, and it was her going through like her diary from when she was younger, and it's like covered in like glitter and stickers and stuff. And you're just like, she's just the idea of this like very sweet, lovely woman.
From Phoenix, Arizona, acting as though she is Cardi B from the Bronx.
And then it cuts to two of her castmates standing and talking to each other, like, what's up with Aidy? And the other one just goes, I think she's empowered.
Also, it has a cameo at the very end from Cardi B herself, which I thought was very funny, where Aidy's like, oh, we're basically best friends, right? And Cardi's like, could you get me some water? I'm really parched. And she's like, oh, but like, what about these shoes, Cardi? These is bloody shoes. And Cardi's like, oh, just get out.
Peeps her Louis Vuitton's so funny.
But it was one of those ones where I need to also talk about the red outfit that she wears when she's doing like the ADB persona, where she's trying to look like Cardi. Mm-hmm. She looks sexy. I think she looks insanely good. Her hair laid perfectly. Her outfit, the fur around I really enjoy like a full top to bottom red moment, and that's what she pulled out for us.
I think just like part of Aidy Bryant's charm is her confidence in herself. Yeah, and like I love.
She has no reason to be unconfident. She has it all.
The sketch, because you can kind of tell when she's been the mind behind something, and the one that she did, where it was the Hot Girls Halloween, and it's basically just like cutting between. That
was a very close, like ADB and the Hot Girls Halloween. They were both like neck and neck for me picking them. I cannot get over just how funny I find it, because I feel as though if you've ever been on a night out, you have seen these girls. Yeah. You've probably crossed the road so you didn't have to be near the girl.
I am all of those girls, always. That's me on a night out. So the premise of the sketch is it basically cuts between them getting ready for their Halloween night out, where they're feeling hella cute, they're putting on their whiskers.
They're very dainty in this moment. They're talking
One of them,
about
Miss Cecily's like, I don't think I'm gonna drink tonight.
Yeah, I'm not gonna drink tonight.
And then
she's like, oh, I love how you did your makeup.
these statements that they're making are cutting chaotically to the end of the night comparison of like mascara down the face, of them getting chucked out of the pizza shop, of them
walking
just hysterically
down the
crying
with like
and
one
falling
healing
out.
hand.
Yeah, like
So much content.
we know those people. We are those people. We have lived that fantasy.
We've lived the dream.
Yeah, and obviously, as we said, we have Miss Vanessa as the cheese when the other two are like sexy.
And she brings it up to them because they ask at the start of the night, they're like, are you sure you're okay with being like the cheese? Like, I've got another set of cat ears there if you want. And she's like, no, I like it. And then cut to the drunk version. You guys made me be the cheese. And I didn't want to be the cheese. If you've ever done group costumes, you'll know the pain of someone putting you in maybe the costume you did not want, but not being the one to like halt
not piping
the group perform. Yeah, you're not going to pipe up because you're like, okay, I want us to have a good night together as a group, so I'll just go with it.
It does very much take me back to Angus Thompson Perfect Snogging, where they all agree.
It is that stuffed olive.
Like, they agree that they're going to go as, like, hors d'oeuvres, and then Georgia turns up dressed as a stuffed olive, and everyone else is, like, sexy cats. Like, is there anything more relatable?
Missed the assignment. Misunderstood the assignment.
Anyway, moving on.
Now that we've had a joint,
a little sidetrack.
A joint one here. Please, your second skit.
My second one is one featuring one of our guest hosts. They have a weekly guest host. The guest host is Miss Emma Stone.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the title of this sketch is The Actress.
The Actress.
And the premise
She's
is
an actress.
Emma Stone is portraying a character in this sketch who has been an actress for a long time, has really been trying to find her big break, and it's just not working out for her. So she's on her way to a job. She's driving up. She's going to be playing this character. She's taking it very seriously. She arrives on set. She goes in. She's got one line. And this one line is her interrupting a gay porn scene where she catches her husband and
very in the vibe.
Yeah.
It's following that vibe of the really right in front of my salad, like that meme that went viral before. It was released about the exact same time, and her character...
It's so funny. Like, she creates a character name. She's like, how would Deirdre do this? And she finds this like random box of objects and creates meaning for all these objects. The woman bin. The woman bin. They're like, just find something to wear.
Go to the woman bin and pick some stuff out.
And they're like, oh, if you don't want to watch this, then just go outside and wait on a chair and we'll call you in when we're ready. It's just so like she creates a whole backstory
for like this one line.
For this one line, and no one on, and they're like, right, we're probably just gonna cut that. Like they're like, just deliver the line and leave. And then she gets back into the car at the end, and she's like,
she's like crying for the character.
She's like crying because she's had like a moment where she's realized Deirdre, and she's found like she's seen her whole past, her life story, and it's.
This past has every object from the woman bin featured in it.
And she just has to sit in the car and like let her go. And like, as someone who knows actors and actresses, we've met that person that's taken the role a bit too seriously. Method acting. But it's just so dumb because it's a porno and top-notch
it's
stuff.
Because you have no idea that she's going for that. And I think that's one of those, like, they give you the punchline, but they build on it. Some punchlines, I think, are, like, a very snappy, like, oh, but she's at a porno, haha. I think sometimes that's how they go with the joke, but then other times, like this situation, they'll give you the punchline, and they're going to expand upon it with even more ridiculousness that you didn't even see coming.
Like, I think the beauty of it is, as well, it shows a lot about SNL, because it's taken an actor like Emma Stone, who's like a fairly serious actor. Like, she has done some comedy stuff, but she's not known as a comedian. And then giving them the sort of opportunity to do stupid stuff.
Yeah, I think
and
Emma
almost take
Stone's
the
always
piss.
been slightly on the comedy side, just because she was in things like Super
Superbad,
Bad and Easy
yeah.
A, you know. But
But
I
then
will, yeah, I do
equally,
think she's never been given a fully comedic performance role,
yeah,
so that I've seen of at least.
like
So
she's
yeah, I get what you mean. It takes that,
and almost just like taking the piss out of actorhood. Yeah.
which
Uh,
if there's anyone more qualified, it's a blockbuster actress like herself.
yeah. What is your next moment? Your next sketch?
So I'm gonna go for the Totino's pizza rolls.
Yeah.
This is like so. This is like a long-standing saga in the SNL history, and it's also Vanessa Bayer. So she basically is playing the role of like a commercial wife who is presenting to the audience Totino's pizza rolls. Just those like the little crappy like finger food you shove in like an oven.
Yeah, they normally
put
do
out
like
for
it's a thing on SNL where they sort of parody commercials.
yeah. So this commercial is going in on the idea, at least in the past, that she's just that all that she's there for is to make pizza rolls for her hungry guys.
My hungry guys.
My hungry guys. In the past, there have been versions where like the guys are like brainwashed by the TV. They're not responding to her at all. But this one is different because one of the guys brings like their sister or something, played by Kristen Stewart.
Yeah.
Her name is Sabine, and she comes into the life of this suburban wife, and the tone changes immediately from being like a commercial to this like blue is the warmest color
Yes.
French spoken romance scene where she's falling in love with Sabine, and it's so ridiculous
So
because
dumb.
you get to the point where they're like lying naked on the counter using the Totino's pizza rolls to like trace each other's bodies. And she has this line where she's like, Sabine, every summer before this one, I've been locked away, but you've like made me feel free. And the line that I really need to get out here is Sabine asking the pizza roll lady, what's your name? And she goes, I've never had one. It's so silly because it does contrast back to the husband character who's just watching the game
Super Bowl,
with all
yeah.
his friends surrounding, being like, where are those pizza rolls? Ha ha ha. And then they're making out on the counter with like a water
Yeah.
effect going on from the sink.
So stupid. It's so stupid but hysterical. That's a really good one.
It's perfect.
It's
I
really well
could
written.
not think of a funnier performance.
Because it's so good, so well done for the actress. Like because it's Kristen
Yeah.
Stewart, it's funny.
I have a lot of love for Kristen Stewart. I think
Yeah.
she's been given a lot of shit over the years as an actress. I think it's unjustified. I've seen her in quite a few things over the past few years that have made me say, yeah, maybe Twilight wasn't her finest work, but
I still love
thought she did
Twilight.
an adequate job. Yeah, she did an adequate job. It's
She
not
did
her
what
fault
it
the source
said
material
to
was kind of
do.
what it was.
Yeah, like
I think that she was caught up in that whole Robert Pattinson
cheating
like
scandal
affair
situation,
cheating
yeah.
scandal, that she was like branded as not the one.
Mm.
But she is one of the ones. She's really good, and I hope to see more.
moving on swiftly.
Mm-hmm. Moving on from Kristen Stewart's career.
I have probably my all-time favorite SNL sketch ever. This is my
Okay.
final contribution.
Please contribute it.
It is Diner Lobster, featuring
Lobster Diner.
Lobster Diner, Diner Lobster. It's John Mulaney. It's sort of become a running thing where
You've got a big thing for John Mulaney, though. Like that's
just think
something
he's
that's
so
quite
funny.
clear. Even from you, like loving the Stefan stuff, like that's fully his brain.
yeah, I just think he's so fun. Like I love his stand-up and stuff, but
Agreed.
him so it's because there's another companion sketch to this which is called Airport Sushi that's basically the same setup.
Yeah.
So basically the premise is Pete Davidson and this other guy go into the diner and Pete Davidson orders the lobster, which is just like an undone thing because it's clearly like a really sketchy place and it's like you don't buy seafood at sketchy places because it's going to give you the shits, right?
Yeah.
So it's basically like the idea being that there's been this lobster that they've had in the diner for like years and years because no one's ever ordered it, so they just keep it in the tank sort of as a pet, and then now someone's ordered it and they're gonna have to kill this lobster. And it becomes a musical, and it becomes
I love it because Chris Redd, the other actor that's starring alongside Pete Davidson at the table, he's like, man, are you sure you want to be doing this? Before this musical erupts.
Yeah. And it's Kenan Thompson comes out as the lobster singing to the tune of Who Am I from Les Mis. I'm lobster number one. Iconic. We then have Kate McKinnon come in and sing, like offer her to go instead
Please tell
of her
them
dad.
her name.
What
is the name of her character?
So she is a baby lobster called Clausette.
It's so
It's the
dumb.
cherry on top. It's the cherry on top. She sings Castle on a Cloud, but about the fish tank in the sky. Hysterical. And then we end on Do You Hear the People Sing?
With all the the waiters, the waitresses.
They pull in a barricade, because that's like a known set piece from every Les Mis production.
Big part, yeah.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid. I love it. I love it.
It's perfect though. It's that type of stupidity that just comes across so well.
Yeah. What's your final giving?
My final skit that I just can't live without is, and it technically I'm cheating because it is a series of skits, but I am specifically talking about The Californians.
Yes.
And it's Karina Returns. So this is a very Kristen Wiig heavy one because she plays the character Karina. Basically, the Californians, the use they have of soap opera dramatics, staring at the camera head on, and just breaking character often because they're all being the most ridiculously exaggerated versions of like a Californian person.
Yeah.
It's Bill Hader, Kristen Wiig, and Fred Armisen.
So
they're
funny.
playing this iconic trio who they're so unbelievably funny because they know they're making each other break and they'll try even harder to keep it going.
Yeah.
And it features every single member of the cast will appear on this show at some stage in a blonde wig. Even if blonde is not the natural hair color that would go with it, they're all blonde.
Yeah, I think my favorite part, because I hadn't actually seen this particular one. Like, I'd seen versions, but I hadn't seen this particular sketch. And Maya Rudolph coming in because you think it's over, you think it's the funniest thing, and it's done, and then Maya Rudolph enters, and you're just like, well, and they're all laughing, like, and I think that's
they're crying.
The beauty of it being Saturday Night Live is that they do break,
and the audience loves it,
and it's funny. Obviously, like, it's not good if it happens always, but like, knowing that, like, being in on the imperfection of it all. It's the same as like when you go to see a panel and there's always sort of like a planned mishap in the panel because the audience likes feeling like they're in on something that's gone terribly wrong, but obviously they don't plan that on SNL. Having people break is too funny.
It's so funny because these people are like the top tier sketch comedic people in the country. Yeah, they're so well known and they're always the consummate professional who carry out the scenes perfectly and make us laugh because they're delivering it perfectly. Yeah. But when they get to break and try to recover, there's just something about watching these people who are so good at what they do fuck it up. It's like so funny.
The ultimate try not to laugh challenge. Because I think seeing someone trying not to laugh is sort of funnier than seeing someone laughing. So it's like, it's almost the moment before they break is the funniest bit, because seeing someone trying to
they're trying to keep the smile down, they're trying to put it all at bay and keep going. But that's what the Californians think does best. And my favorite, like, it's not a quote, my favorite moment though from the Californians is the way that they will all gather together in the mirror.
Yes.
There's this one giant mirror in the mansion set of the Californians that they all, when the music like plays to like fizzle out of a scene, they'll all gather together and just look at themselves.
Yeah.
And you will see every single one of the actors trying not to laugh as they look at themselves in this mirror.
Yeah, when they make eye contact
It's
in the mirror. It's the one where Vanessa's cleaning it. She's like,
when she's trying to spray it and she's fully like laughing.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Now that we have gone over our favourite skits, we have decided to throw our little comedic hats in the ring. Yeah, we want to see what we can do here. So, please, the stage is yours. I am Lauren Michaels. I'm Lauren Sausage Michaels, ready to see what you have to offer.
Okay, so my pitch for you today, good people of the It's Not Always Dark podcast. You've heard me speak before about, even in this episode, that I did my essay, my dissertation on comedy music.
Yes.
You also probably know about my obsession with the film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And amazing. Okay, if yours is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I have to hold you right there because we'll have both done a Roald Dahl skit.
I hate us. I hate us.
We're the worst. We, just for a bit of context here, both messaged each other earlier on before recording about this, saying, "Oh yeah, so we're still doing that, like make our own skit, right?" Mm-hmm. That was it. That's where we left it. But please, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Please continue. You're Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
And I have teased before that I wrote a rap.
Oh, I love this rap.
And I thought, what a good service
Mr. Wonka
would I be doing to the people if I let them hear a bit of it. So I will be doing a live reading in a section, in a little bit. My proposition is that we would run the sketch. So my premise is based on a fan theory that Mr. Wonka was evil all along and that he planned specific murders of each of the children, bar Charlie, who he kidnaps, along with his grandfather.
Oh, yes, okay.
In a funny way.
In a funny way.
Comedy and tragedy.
Murdering children, so funny.
I have actually cast it. I have a cast list here.
Oh, I have a cast too.
All of the people mentioned here we've spoken about today will be of no surprise to anyone, I don't think. Yeah. So as Mr. Wonka, I have cast Kieran Thompson because he carries a lot of the lead musical roles. I believe he could do it. I believe in him.
I could see it.
For Grandpa Joe, I have put Bill Hader. Mainly because of that sketch where it's the girls' games night and he comes in on his
we're doing Saturday Night Live All Stars.
Yeah.
This time we're not doing current cast. We're doing All Star.
No, this is my dream casting. So.
Okay. That skit where he comes in as the old man though.
On the wheelchair.
That was another high contender for favorite skit.
Yeah, I very nearly put that in and then I didn't. As Charlie, I have put John Mulaney because he looks about 12 years old.
Okay.
For Augustus Gloop, and I need you to stay with me on this one, but it's because she's so versatile. For Augustus Gloop, it's Kate McKinnon because I knew it was going to be Kate McKinnon.
I knew you were going to cast Kate McKinnon as Augustus Gloop. It's because she does I think I've seen her play like on SNL a foreign young person before, and Augustus Gloop, he's this like young German boy. Yeah, that's perfect for her.
I can see it. As Violet,
How weird is it that we are recommending Kate McKinnon as a young German boy? Or is he Swiss? He might be Swiss because of the chocolate.
I'm not getting involved.
I don't. Like Switzerland, you're not getting involved.
The researchers didn't go that far into it.
Sorry guys, the research team have been lacking.
For Violet, I've cast Cecily Strong.
Of course, yeah.
Because perfect choice. She can play that bitch. It's just triggered the memory of her and Emily Blunt playing rude teenagers on the Great British Bake Off. Another sketch that you need to see.
So good.
As Veruca Salt, I have AD because I need her to play an uptight,
Rich
spoiled
girl.
little bitch.
Yeah.
And
She
then
would do
as
good.
Mike TV, I've put in SNL's resident young person, Pete Davidson.
Yeah, the resident young person that was young, but not young enough to make the role of Charlie, because that's John Mulaney.
Pete Davidson looks older than John Mulaney.
Do you think?
No.
I'm a liar.
But so
You had it here.
you heard it here. I'm a liar. So what I'm gonna do for you right now is I'm gonna read
Okay.
a short extract, and just
we're
to
getting
set
an
the scene.
extract.
Yeah.
I'm at church.
So I haven't looked at this stuff in a year.
Okay.
I'll just read the chorus. The chorus is, "I'm Mr. Wonka, bitch. Welcome to my factory. Get
Can I
ready,
stop you
kids."
there? I need to stop you there. Can I just... I'm Mr. Wonka, bitch. This coming from Kieran Thomas.
But you need to imagine it. Like imagine this.
I
like,
can see it.
It's me, but it's a
can see it
DMX
so well.
song. Like
Okay. Please continue. Sorry, I cut you off.
you did, and it was rude.
Well, cancel me. Do it.
Okay, so we're coming back in with, "I'm Mr. Wonka, bitch. Welcome to my factory. Get ready, kids. You're gonna die. Taking out those privileged, bratty youngsters. This is my place. You can't hide." That's the
It
chorus.
sounds a lot scarier when you read it. I've heard the actual recording you did for this when you sent it in for your dissertation.
Yeah.
It's not as intense as that sounded.
I just wanted to do a dramatic reading so that people really knew
I
where
love
I was
it.
coming
I
from.
love a dramatic reading.
Do you think I would make it on the show? Do you think it would
Yeah,
get...
of course you would. Yeah.
I'm imagining like a
Especially,
very
like,
elaborate set.
And this is my factory. This is the
And
factory.
this is my factory.
Come on, Simone. Okay.
Yes, Simone. That's a niche
love the-
reference. Sorry.
I really do love what you're presenting, though. I
Yeah.
think it will be very funny, especially because there's so much that can go down with that many cast members in a skit alone.
Yeah, but I think because it's the song written like that, but I imagine it being
Mm-hmm.
broken up with speech from other people. So
Yeah.
like we have Keenan really doing the most, but
Okay,
we
yeah.
also have other people contributing with like ad hoc lines. I'm very excited. Me
Mm-hmm. I'm
talking
also very
like it's
excited.
happening. It's
It's
happening
next week. I mean, today is Sunday, so we've got 6 days. 6 days to go.
We'll make it
to your
happen.
debut skit. So to go off of the Roald Dahl vibes that we both clearly were feeling today,
Yeah,
I've got my skit as a Matilda based skit.
of course.
So I've come more with a concept here that I'm going to explain out
That's
to you.
fine.
I don't have
Hit
any
me.
amazing jokes planned here because I'm not a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
But for it, I'm basically having it's based on Miss Trunchbull in therapy. She is
Yes.
lying down on the couch and she is trying to explain the mental breakdown that she had to a therapist because of Matilda. And this is many years later, so she's like an older version of Miss Trunchbull.
Okay.
So she talks about how she was an Olympian who lost her home, her job, all the works.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, the therapist is Matilda, and she is messing with Miss Trunchbull during her therapy session by like doing the classic Matilda things of
Moving.
raising things in the air, putting stuff in her drink,
That's so mean.
spelling things out, like using the what
Making
do you
her
call
eat a cake.
the Rorschach, the pictures they show you in therapy to ask what you see.
Okay.
I want her to be messing around with every single aspect of this so that Miss Trunchbull has another full breakdown.
Love. I mean,
I
we
want
don't-
Kate McKinnon to play Miss Trunchbull
Naturally.
because
Of course.
I can see it for her.
Mm-hmm.
I just can, and I think that's just because she makes every role hers.
Yeah.
So I
I
have
also
faith.
think she would make a fantastic
But
Miss Trunchbull.
I want a guest appearance from the actual actress that plays Matilda because if I was filming the way I'd film it, I would not want to show who the therapist is. Maybe just like the notes, writing down but then it's revealed to be Matilda.
Oh.
I think that would be very fun. I don't know if the actress would be up for it, but again, I'm sure that I can work my ways and get her to do it.
Yeah,
you know?
there's just a couple of calls from the production team.
Of course.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. Why did we both go Roald Dahl? What is our thing
Probably because we
today?
did kids' books last week.
Yeah.
And it was on our minds. And I was also like, I started thinking about The Lonely Island, and then it brought up, because it's about a year since I did
your own work.
that stuff, and I was like, oh, I want to bring this to the table and get it produced
We could
professionally.
be more suited for this podcast together if we tried. Even when we're not talking about what we're gonna do, we still do the same thing. That's teamwork.
That's duality. We are actually the same person. We're just two sides of one coin.
Why did I get confused there? I was like, wait, what? Coins?
I have a question.
May I ask a question?
Okay, well, that is basically 2 sketches ready to go straight onto SNL coming Saturday. So
you will see them on Saturday, so please tune into the SNL
hit us
YouTube
up.
channel.
Yeah.
Don't forget, also, you'll see like a live version coming straight from our YouTube channel also that you can subscribe to if you want. Like, I'm
If
not
you
trying to
feel
say
like
you
it.
must, but you should.
Like, we would
Like,
suggest.
I'm not even saying that I like you like that. Like, come on, stop.
Any whomst.
Oops.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the It's Not Always Dark podcast. We have loved having you. We hope we have entertained. Make sure that you like and subscribe. It means so much to us. It really does. It means a whole bunch. Make sure that you stay safe, that you are enjoying this lovely springtime weather responsibly with your mask on. And we will be back next week.
Next week. Make that podcast next week. Huh.